It's been found that the world's economic growth is directly linked to the increasing percentage of educated women. By educating women, over 34 countries have seen an increase of 50% in economic growth. This week, we celebrate International Women's Day, and this year's theme, Break the Bias, entreats the world to call out instances of bias against women in the workplace, at school, and at home. Welcome to Prime Group Kaleidoscope with me, Savithri Rodrigo.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy, Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
Our dose of positive, daring, different has plenty in store for you this week. We have women in apparel, zero-cost degrees, a perfect baker, and the prospect of a greener Sri Lanka. Prime Group Kaleidoscope is on 4 digital platforms, so you can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
Welcoming all of you with warmth and care. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
Welcome to our Commercial Bank snapshot and a quick look at the week that was. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka devalued the rupee by 15% and then allowed a free float, taking the first steps to comply with IMF conditions, leaving US dollar rates fluctuating wildly between 240 and 260 rupees. Sri Lanka limited exports of 367 items it deemed non-essential, including footwear, fruit, wine and cheese. Sri Lanka's official reserves at end February was $2.31 billion. Foreign currency reserves, $2,025 million, and gold reserves at $98 million. Soft Logic buys the Agora supermarkets and becomes the first Sri Lankan company to acquire a supermarket chain in Bangladesh. India will launch its first ever cruise experience from Chennai to Sri Lanka on a luxury cruise liner in June this year. The helmet worn by Amelia Earhart, the first female pilot to fly solo across the Atlantic, sells for $825,000.
Welcoming all of you with warmth and care. Commercial Bank. Our interest is in you.
And this is our Commercial Bank News Capsule. The crippling fossil fuel crisis that has shaken Sri Lanka recently and the rapid deterioration of our once plentiful planet is pointing us towards cleaner alternative energy sources. Recently, Greenstat Hydrogen India, an affiliate of Greenstat AS Norway, agreed to conduct a feasibility study on a pilot project to generate green hydrogen combining floating solar and wind. Norwegian Ambassador Trine Uranli Eskadal joins me today on Kaleidoscope. Madam Ambassador, what benefits will accrue to Sri Lanka from this agreement?
This project and study, if successful, will enable Sri Lanka to do the move from fossil fuels to greener energies. In addition, it will also help Sri Lanka to reduce the costs and dependence on fossil fuels. As we all know, the world is going through a bigger transition, looking at possibilities of getting and creating greener, sustainable energy. And Sri Lanka has very many possibilities, being a country with ample sunshine all the year round, and in some parts of the island, there is a lot of wind that can be used also to produce green energy. In addition, I think also it's important to highlight that with the growing energy needs in Sri Lanka, this will help the country to create a more reliable energy sources.
It's been downhill all the way at the Colombo stock market this week, with the ASPI plunging and share prices seeing unprecedented slides. After hitting all-time highs in January this year, the CAC has slid quite significantly in February and March. This week, the indices recorded a drop of 3%, with the daily turnover averaging 3.2 billion rupees. Meanwhile, Brent crude oil futures hit $130 per barrel for the first time since 2008. But after recent record highs, prices of WTI oil fell 11% to $112 per barrel as the UAE called on OPEC to increase production. Gold prices dropped from record one-year highs to $1,980 per ounce due to falling oil prices and planned diplomatic ties between Russia and Ukraine. Sri Lanka is brimming with aspiring youth eagerly seeking knowledge, but many are unable to find the money to pursue higher education pursuits. In response to this, JISC campus in partnership with HNB launched the Earn and Learn program, a 100% debt-free degree that allows students to virtually access a quality international education. I asked Global Managing Director of Lithan EduClass, Joel Chow, why he decided to pursue this zero-cost degree program in Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka is a very dynamic country where there's a lot of very aspiring youth who are actually looking into and ready into the international platform. We believe that the education systems over here need a little bit of push and also very eager to connect to the international community. Lithan, in collaboration with industry players and also government policies, bring about a transformation education systems for all our students regardless of what socio-economic background to enjoy an international standard education systems and at the same time with a zero-fee based kind of program so that they can be ready for international placement.
The United Nations Environment Assembly of the UN Environment Programme signed the Global Plastic Treaty to beat plastic pollution, a treaty hailed as the biggest green deal since the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement. Marking the return of the James Bond film, No Time to Die, Madame Tussauds gathered the 6 stars who portrayed the iconic spy at a permanent exhibition in London. The 007s are from 1963 all the way to the present. Luxury brand Balenciaga took the term unique design to a whole new level, sending out smashed iPhones engraved with the date and time as invitations to their show at Paris Fashion Week.
Hold your breath in for a moment. Find your calm. This is the Green Embassy Homagama. Invest just 3 million rupees to reserve 0710 777 Prime Lands Residencies PLC.
Are you a bookworm or a reader in progress? If so, we've got just the treat for you. Get on board with Sanjeev Jayaratnam's Speed Reading, a tremendously enriching program that can be joined from absolutely anywhere in the world. Just let us know and you might be gifted an entire speed reading program absolutely free.
Making all your new goals in life a reality is why our strength is your strength. With 12 billion rupees worth of customer benefits in 2020 and a life insurance fund worth over 100 billion rupees, our strength is your strength. You focus on your goals. We will take care of the risks. Srilanka Life.
Sri Lanka's economy is primarily run by women in 3 key industry sectors: tea, apparel and foreign employment. Apparel exports have seen the best numbers starting off in 2022, with export earnings from apparel and textile exports increasing by 22.1% year-on-year to $514.41 million in January this year. The industry employs nearly 1 million directly and indirectly, primarily women, in 350 plants around the country. Garments Without Guilt has been Sri Lanka's clarion call for over a decade, where Sri Lanka's apparel industry strove to stringently adhere to transparent and accountable economic, social and environmental norms. Today with me to discuss the realities of gender equality in the apparel sector is the Director of Corporate Affairs of MAS Holdings, Rajitha Jayasuri. Welcome Rajitha to Srilanka Life Let's Talk. It's International Women's Month. The general assumption is that women in the apparel industry make up the bottom rung, but rarely do we see them in the upper rungs, which are primarily male-dominated. What progress has been made in ensuring gender equality in their career growth?
I think what we need to recognize is that this is just not an issue faced by the apparel industry. Representation of women in management and senior leadership is a gap we see across industries and corporates. We need to be intentional. We believe that women's empowerment should be built into key performance indicators of corporates and work towards achieving gender parity at management levels. Women form the backbone of the apparel industry. We need to ensure 100% of the female workforce is empowered at the shop floor level with identified skill development and career advancement programs for women on the shop floor. What this means is that we need to focus on reproductive health, issues around preventing and addressing gender biases and gender-based violence, and skill development. Skill development includes working on technical and other skills needed to progress into management. It also includes supporting women with knowledge and skills they need to become entrepreneurs. We have to work to retain the women coming into our workforce by providing them leadership roles at different levels in the businesses, but also developing female entrepreneurs and leaders which benefit broader communities.
Given the pandemic and the fallout that almost every industry faced, the apparel industry included, how have these foundations and the groundwork that you've laid in empowering women actually helped you navigate the industry through challenging times?
I think as an industry, most of the large players like MAS took immediate steps to look at mental health, started hotlines, made sure that people working for us understood that we were doing everything possible to keep them in employment. We got our counselors and HR teams upskilled with psychological first aid to identify if anyone is undergoing any stress or anxiety. This was an immediate need, with domestic violence incidents rising and the fear and anxiety of initial lockdowns. We understood that it is important to ensure women's voice and representation and leadership in dialogue and decision making. Given that women are at the forefront of COVID-19 response as caregivers, as community mobilizers, it is imperative that we engage this diverse perspective in policy making and decision making around the responses that we created for the industry. We have been looking into many different areas of support, from childcare to flexible work to supporting the female and the male workforce. It is not straightforward, considering the health and safety regulations, especially with large factories. The industry, being female-centric, needs to address issues around childcare and provide the necessary infrastructure and facilities to ensure that women don't drop off the workforce. In this respect, flexible work and part-time work becomes critical, and we need to find ways of providing as much flexibility to as many people as possible. Again, being in the manufacturing industry, it's not straightforward. We can't provide the same kind of flexibility to all job roles.
So what is your ideal for women in this industry? Where would you like to see them?
Definitely to see more women in leadership roles and to work towards ensuring that women have safe, better support and infrastructure to build not only their careers, but also to nurture and build their family life as well.
It is truly a lofty idea, Rajita, but it surely can be done. Better support structures to build careers and their ecosystems. Thank you very much for joining us on Srilanka Life. Let's talk. She has combined her love of cats and baking into the creation of delectable delights that are sure to tickle the taste buds. Here's Pathum Veerasinghe, our perfect baker in Life in 60.
Perfect Baker is my homegrown hobby venture which started off during the first lockdown and continued to grow with a loyal customer base. It is all about food inclusivity. Whether you're a vegan or on a keto diet or simply love decadent food, there's always an item you can purchase. My customers appreciate the fact that they have a greater say in the final product they consume because most of my items are highly customizable. My bestsellers in terms of baked goodies include rum milk, cinnamon rolls, the granola, the crackers, and the keto rotis. Apart from that, I also provide uniquely flavored chocolates such as the Nime's chocolate and rose and pistachio chocolate.
Today we commemorated International Women's Week, and our Kaleidoscope takeaway as we bid you goodbye is this: where there is a woman, there is magic.